Good afternoon, everyone. Saksham is a youth economic empowerment project being implemented in India since 2010. And Saksham has the objective to reach the youth who are in the age group of 18 to 29 years with special focus on girls and living in disadvantaged urban and rural areas of Delhi and other urban areas to have access to vocational training and life skills training, which is like directly linked to the livelihood opportunity and also becomes a medium for the girls' economic empowerment. So to achieve this objective, we have adopted 4 approaches. The first one being the job-oriented vocational training, in which we are training the youth for getting job placements. The second approach is the vocational training for the entrepreneurship promotion, in which we train the youth for self-employment. And the third one is the gender mainstreaming. And the fourth one is the decent work. So we say that whatever employment, whether it's job placement or self-employment, it will be guided by the principle of decent work. So when we started way back in the year 2010, we had a focus of involving girls in our project. So when we initially started, we faced that there was a very low percentage of enrollment and placement of girls in our project. We were expecting to target 60% of the enrollments and we were somewhere around 40%. So we analyzed the situation and we tried to understand the possible reasons which are hampering the involvement and participation of girls in our project. So what we could identify was that the communities that we are working in comprises of the people who have migrated from different states of India and they have come there for livelihood and they have their own social and cultural practices and beliefs. So and in India there is a lot of restriction on the mobility of girls, especially in the community that we are working in, because the honor of the family is associated with the girls. So if any mishap happens with the girl, it brings a bad name to the family. So the family prefer to keep them safe and within the 4 walls of the society, their homes. And second is that the goal that the family and the parents have for the girl is not to see her as an independent woman, but to see her settle in her married life. And so that is basically their goal. And initially both boys and girls have the chance to interact with each other, play with each other, but once they reach puberty, they are not allowed to interact much with each other. And in Saksham we were talking about training youth who are like 18, between the age group of 18-25 to study together for 2 months. So that was not taken very well by the community. And so these were like the few challenges that we had to face. And when we further analyzed it and spoke to different people from the community, our youth and their parents and families, so we understood that is more about what they believe in, what they are practicing since ages, and it's about their mindset. And it's about what society expects a girl and a boy to behave in a particular way. So it was very much about gender. And this is where we thought of mainstreaming gender in our project and making Saksham a gender-aware project. So this was the challenge.
Thank you very much, Anamika. We are going to watch the testimony from Rona.
I could complete the training at Saksham only because it was free. Besides, the center was located within the community, so I did not require to pay money for commenting. I believe Saksham initiative is a much needed opportunity for youth, especially girls like me, to become self-reliant. When I joined my first job, I was not aware at that time of any career path. I was only looking for a job close to home with some salary. Thanks to Saksham training, I got to know about how to develop a career in retail. I also understood the principle of wage employment, which included equal wage for equal work, equal treatment of all employees, and general relation section helped me to transfer my way of thinking for earning to doing job and develop a career. Before I was doing job only to earn money and support my family. After training at Saksham, I became more focused, career oriented, and wanted to ahead in my career. The training helped to realize my job is not just simple to support my family, but rather a medium to become career originally. I always I always believe that women can work, but after moving out from my home to work, my belief got stronger as I saw that other women working tirelessly to be self-reliant. One major challenge for me is to continue working even after marriage. The training has given me confidence to decide that I want to work even after my marriage.
Action project. So when we identified the issue, so we identified that it is very much related to gender and how people behave and think. So we first of all we hired an external consultant who was very much experienced and adopted a very non-biased approach towards the whole process. And then we did the gender gap analysis of our projects and the project areas. So once those gaps were identified, we designed a training program for our project staff to be trained on gender, and secondly to develop a plan of action for each of the centers as per their need and the community to mainstream gender in their programs. We also developed and defined every step of the project cycle and possible gender steps that could be made part of that particular cycle. So for example, if we are doing a market scan, so from gender point of view, we make sure that when we speak to the employers, we get to know about the policies that they have for the women, and also what extra incentives and what are the policies regarding the work environment for the women. Then when we are doing mobilization, we make sure that we have one male and one female mobilizers. We showcase the achievements of the girls who have been part of Saksham and are doing well. We show them as role models. So these are the few steps that we have taken, and we have defined every step from the gender point of view, and we are making part of it of our project. Then we also made a lot of visits to the communities and to our centers to see whether those plan of actions are actually being implemented in the field or not. So we interacted with parents. We were already interacting them with, before we started this process, and after implementing it, we again met them, and we could actually see the differences. And after that, we concluded our first year of gender mainstreaming with a refresher workshop where all of the team came together and we shared our learnings and experiences and the challenges that we had faced. Then continuing the work into the second year, we have developed a manual on mainstreaming gender in a livelihood program, and we also have a team of master trainers who are leading the process of gender mainstreaming in Saksham and providing the handholding support to our project staff.
And we have two learnings from this gender mainstreaming program.
Yes, the first learning that we got to know from this process is that Gender has to be embedded, as I already mentioned, in each and every step of the project. We can't say that the youth, they are coming to the center for the training, so that is the most important part of the whole cycle. Right from the beginning, that we are assessing the location of the center, the courses that we are going to offer in the training, and till the time we talk about retaining the youth in the job for 3 months or 6 months. Gender has to be part of each and every cycle. We can't ignore or we can't underestimate the importance of any of the stages. Each and every stage is equally important. And the second is that when we think of mainstreaming gender, it might lead to the reallocation of some of the resources. Because previously we had trainers, we ensured that we have different trainers for different subjects. But at that time, we did not think from the gender point of view. So we had 2 males in one center. In another center, we had 2 females in one center. But after mainstreaming gender, we had to reallocate them, shift our trainers to ensure that we have 1 male and 1 female trainer in every center. Similarly with the mobilizers. And we also changed the appearance of our centers to talk more about the achievements of the projects, because we display the offer letters in the room where the parents come and we take them on tour of the center. And also that another learning that we have from this whole process is that ultimately we want to achieve the empowerment of girls. And when we talk about empowerment of girls, we need to have very clear indicators that talks about that yes, now we have reached that stage that we can call that our girls are economically empowerment. So it's really important to have the clearly defined indicators for that. And also at times when we talk about gender, we at times associate it with girls only. But from our experiences, we feel that it's about both the boys and girls. And in India especially, the boys has different sets of demands and they have to make different kinds of adjustment because of the gender expectation. And girls, for them it's different. But because boys enjoy or have more privilege and higher position in comparison to girls, so to bring them at par, we have to ensure that we give special focus to girls. But the process should include both boys and girls. And to make our gender mainstreaming sustainable, it's really important that the men folk from the community, from the families, are also engaged in the process. Because mothers are easily available, because most of the mothers are housewives, they are at home. So whenever we have to call them for meetings or for other events, they are easily available to us. But the fathers, since they are working or they don't feel this is important, so they are not at all, not always available. So it's really important that we ensure that they are also made part of this. And I think when we started initially, we were facing problems with the placements because there were mobility restrictions and parents just didn't, even if they were sending them for training to the center which was within their community only, but they were not ready to send them for placements. So at that time we negotiated a lot with the employers in terms of the duration of their work hours, and that the works should they should be given day shifts only, and and then they should be hired in groups. So if they have a requirement of 5 or 6 vacancies, then they can hire at least 2 girls from each center, so that they get company when they are traveling to and fro from the work, and the parents are also at peace that the girl has a company and they are not worried about her security. And the most important is that when we are talking about gender and when we are working with people, so it's about changing their practices, their mindset, how they think, how they feel, which is like they must be practicing it from last 20, 30 or maybe more than that. So it does take time, but it's possible to make the changes in their lives. So.
Thank you very much, Anamika.